It doesn't need to be a bad thing or a scary thing that people are judging you. It's just a fact. People are judging you. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow this fact that people are judging you hold you back in any way? Or are you going to show up courageously and boldly and let people judge you and give them a show? Today, we are talking about fear, specifically the fear of being judged. And there are some of you right now who I know this fear is the one thing that is holding you back from just going all in on creating the life that you want. And I talk about this all the time, and I mean it when I say, when you create the life that you want, you are also helping so many people by simply living your truth. When you do that, you open the door for other people and you set the example for others to do the same. So, let's get into this fear because I don't want any of you to continue allowing this fear to hold you back. There's something that you want to do, but you're not doing it because you're afraid of being judged. Or the other way around, there's things that you are currently doing that you won't stop doing because you're afraid of being judged. This topic has been coming up repeatedly over and over when I'm having conversations with people, clients, out in the world, on TikTok. And we need to talk about it. Fear, first and foremost, is an opportunity for you to show yourself how courageous you really are. Okay? Fear is not a reason to not do something. Fear is not a valid reason to not do something. I don't want to hear it. We can change your relationship to fear, your perspective on fear, how you respond to your fear in order to be more courageous, be more confident, and actually stop letting that fear hold you back. It starts with your willingness and your desire to change it. So, the fear of being judged, let's talk about it because there are some valid points there. But let's get into them, and you'll see by the end of this episode why you need to stop letting this fear hold you back and actually how you can start right now, today, changing this pattern. We are social creatures. And years ago, before capitalization, before patriarchy, before society as we know it, we were tribal creatures, and we still are in many ways. And if you didn't fit in, it meant that your life was essentially at risk. If you were a loner, that was a threat to your life, to your safety. And now, years and years later, being on your own is not necessarily a threat to your safety, to your life in the way that it was when you were in the wild on your own. But there is a primal part of you that may feel threatened by that, which is why you feel the need to change yourself in order to fit in. This is why fitting in and belonging is such an important need for humans. And there's a difference between fitting in and belonging. Fitting in is when you change yourself in order to appear one with the crowd. Belonging is when you are simply accepted for who you are, and you're not changing yourself. The people in your life accept you for who you are. So this fear of being judged often ends up encouraging you and making you feel like you need to fit in order to feel a sense of belonging. But actually, that is never going to give you the sense of belonging that you crave. I want you to ask yourself this question. What in your life would be different right now if you did not have this fear of being judged? What would you be doing more of? What would you be doing less of? What would you stop doing altogether if you knew that you were not going to be judged? I want you to seriously answer that question right now. What would be different in your life if you had no fear of being judged? Think about it. Take this moment, take this time, pause this episode, do some writing, close your eyes, and visualize what your life would look like if you had no fear of being judged. How bold would you be? How creative would you be? How you would you be when you're out in the world? How crazy would you be? All of the things. I want to see that. I want you to hear it. I want you to really get clear on what that looks like for you. And I want you to then know that that is possible. That is possible. The fear of being judged is not going to be healed by people never judging you, by you never getting a negative opinion or reaction from somebody. The fear of being judged is going to be healed by you changing the way that you think about it. Because people are always going to have their opinions, they're always going to have their perspective, they are always going to judge you. As humans, we are judging everything all the time, positively and negatively. And the judgments that you have about other people are both positive and negative, and they're natural. Here's the thing. When somebody judges you, it is a reflection of themselves. When somebody judges you, it is a reflection of them. It typically has nothing to do with you. So if you receive feedback from somebody, a judgment, an opinion, a mean comment, a rejection, know that in that moment, that has and says more about that person than it does about you. Now, if you welcome feedback from specific chosen people in your life, that's a different story. This is why you pay coaches to give you feedback, to judge you in a way, right? And to tell you where your blind spots are and guide you in the right direction. But that judgment has a deeper intention of helping you become the best version of you that you possibly can be. So be really discerning about the feedback and the opinions that you allow in, and how you are allowing the opinions of others determine what you do with your life. This is your one life. Your one life. Depending on your belief, you may believe that we have another shot. But right now, this is your moment. This is your time. And the longer that you spend concerning yourself with the opinions of others, you're wasting your time. There are things that you are here to do. There are messages and artworks and inventions and creations that you are here to create. There are people that you are here to serve. And the longer that you spend thinking about and worrying about people judging you, you're wasting your time and putting off the very thing that you were here to do. Now, I like to bring this into the conversation when we talk about this fear of judgment, because usually the fear of judgment from other people is an indication that you are already judging yourself. You're already judging yourself before anybody even has the opportunity to judge you, because you're not out there doing the thing because you're scared that people are going to judge you. So you are judging yourself, imagining the stories of what people would say before you even hear if that's going to be true or not. So let's talk about that, because when you're judging yourself, you're in shame. There's something happening in you, an emotion that you do not like. There's something that you are afraid that if people really knew this about you, that they wouldn't love you, that you would be abandoned, that you would be rejected. So the antidote to that is you loving yourself so much for that very thing that you are afraid that people will judge you for. Now, I want to give you an example, because this is where it's all going to come together, everything that I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you how loving yourself can actually look different, because it's loving yourself for the very thing that you're afraid that people will judge you for is not just peace, love, I accept all my habits and everything's okay, and I'm just going to love myself even though there are things that I want to change about myself. No. Loving yourself sometimes looks like getting real about the things that you don't like that you do. For example, if you are afraid that people will judge you for what you do when you're alone, and say when you're alone, you find yourself scrolling on your phone. Am I speaking from experience? Maybe. And say I'm afraid to tell people that because I don't want them to judge me. I don't want them to think that I'm a loser or that I don't have strong discipline or whatever story I'm making up about what other people will think of me when I tell them that this is what happens for me. I'm already judging myself. There's this thing that I don't like that I do that I'm already judging myself for. So the way to transform that would be to choose to love myself anyways, to choose to love myself through that. And it's not about giving myself a free pass. It's not about you giving yourself a free pass to just continue on with this behavior that is really hurting you in the long run. But it's about choosing, and like I've talked about in earlier episodes about the difference between discipline and punishment, when discipline comes from love and punishment comes from anguish. It's about choosing to do the thing that you know is going to move you forward, that you know is going to help in that moment from a place of love. Because really, this is the truth. Whether you fear others judging you or you don't give a shit if others are judging you, they're judging you, period. They're doing it anyways. So you can continue to live your life in fear of this, or you can set yourself free today, right now, by deciding to change your relationship with this fear. If you're with me, if you want that, if you are ready to be done holding yourself back from doing what you really want to do, from being who you really are out in the world, get clear about how much havoc this fear is wreaking in your life right now. So like I said earlier, I want you to close your eyes right now and think about all of the ways that this very fear is holding you back. What are those things that you know that you've longed to do for years, but you haven't done yet? You haven't even, maybe you've taken one step, but there's a second step or a third step or a really bold move that you want to make that you're not making because you have a story that people are going to judge you. I want you to call all of those things to mind and lay them out in front of you. Get really clear on, this is the price that I'm paying because I'm living in fear of being judged. for this one person that I'm thinking of in particular that I had a conversation with recently, the price that he's paying is the opportunity to have connection with people. He's walking around this world longing for connection with people and has stopped even smiling at people or saying hello because he's afraid of being judged, because he's had some negative experiences in the past. And that's a key here too, right? The fear comes from past experiences that really happened. Those things really happened and it sucked. But that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen in the future. And so you're cutting yourself off from the potential to have really beautiful, unexpectedly incredible interactions and connections and opportunities because you're allowing your past negative experiences to dictate what you do right now and to actually dictate your future too. I want you to stop immediately and really understand that this is the price of this fear, that you're allowing your past to control your present and your future. If you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got, what you've already got. The way to get to the life that you see for yourself, that dream, that vision that you have, the goal that you have, is not going to be through doing the very things that you've done in the past. What's gotten you here to this moment is not going to get you to your next goalpost of this vision. It is time. It is beyond the time for you to step up and start being more bold. There are people who are waiting for you to open your mouth and speak, to have the conversation with the stranger. There are people who are waiting to interact with you, to offer you the very things that you want, the opportunities, the connection, the relationships. When you let go of this fear of being judged, you will open yourself up to all of that, all of that. You are the only one who has the power to decide what your life looks like, to decide what you do, how you experience your life. And you can choose. You are choosing right now to either live your life from this fear-based reality, or to live your life with an opportunity, possibility-based reality, with a freedom-based reality. Right now, in this moment, you can choose to free yourself from this fear of being judged. Because like I said in last week's episode, and like I say often, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you even say, it matters how you feel. And people can feel and pick up on and sense when you are afraid. It's like how dogs and other animals can smell your fear. Humans can do that too. Our nervous systems are constantly resonating off of each other, picking up signals from each other, scanning for threats, scanning for safety. So, when you show up with an attitude of fear of being judged, that is exactly what you will experience in your reality. Your brain is always looking to validate the story that you're telling yourself. Your brain is always seeking evidence for whatever narrative you have going on, whatever the dominant narrative is, whether you are choosing that narrative or not. So if you want Two, change the story that you have about your life. If you want to change your life, if you want to stop being scared of people judging you, you get to choose a different story. You get to choose to change that fear. It doesn't need to be a bad thing or a scary thing that people are judging you. It's just a fact. People are judging you. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow this fact that people are judging you hold you back in any way? Or are you going to show up courageously and boldly and let people judge you and give them a show? Use it to your advantage. That means they're paying attention. Take it as a good thing. You have the power to choose how you interpret and respond to anything that goes on in your environment. It's the power of your perspective, of shifting your perspective. So if you don't like how something makes you feel, you can change the story, and that's going to change how you feel about it. I hope that that's motivation for you to light a fire under your ass, to stop buying into this fear and letting it control your life. Have you heard the story about the grandfather telling his grandson that there are two wolves inside of you battling all the time? And the little boy asks his grandfather, which one wins? And he said, the one that you feed. And this is such a beautiful example of how that is true. You can either feed into your fear story by continuing to believe it and looking for evidence for it. Whether you're looking for evidence consciously or subconsciously, that is what your brain is doing when you are believing the fear, when you're repeating that story over and over again, those thoughts. Or you can choose to free yourself. You can choose freedom. You can choose bold courage. And whichever story you consistently come back to is the one that's going to win. It's not fun to think about this question that I'm asking you. It can be painful to realize how much you are not honoring what it really is that you want to do, who it really is that you want to serve, who it really is that you are, because you're afraid of being judged. It can be painful to realize that. And I want you to actually feel that pain, because maybe that will get you to choose differently. So where can you start today with that one thing? What is your bold move? If nobody was judging you, or if they were judging you, but you were free to enjoy your life anyways, because you are, what is the one thing that you really want to do? I hope that this episode brought you some clarity, lit a fire under your ass if you needed it. And I hope that you take this with you, take these questions with you, share them, share this episode with somebody who you think also needs to hear this, and come along, follow the podcast for more. If you want to go deeper into this work, I am doing a 12-week course that's going to talk about how to harness your power, and facing your fears is a big part of that. So if you want to hear more about that, you can go to my website. You can also reach out to me via email. That's the best way to reach out to me, and we can set up a phone call conversation. And I would love to see you be part of my community and get my newsletter. That is also one of my favorite ways to connect with you, is by writing to you. I write love notes, I write reminders, I write messages, things that you need to hear. inspiration from stories in my life, and it's always really sweet and really powerful. Leave a comment, send this to your friend, follow for more, subscribe, follow the podcast. I'm just saying all of the things that you can do to join my community and keep getting this valuable information. Oh, and the other thing is rate the show. Leave me a review. Let me know what you think. If you have feedback, I do want to hear it. So you can leave it as a comment. You can review the show. Again, you can email me. I would love to hear from you. I'm sending you off with so much love. I'm sending you off with a prayer for freedom. May you know that you always have a choice. May you know that your freedom is just a choice away. May you know that you are already free, and may you continue to choose your freedom over fear. Okay, lots of love. I will see you in the next one. Bye.